AP explains why Southern African cyclone is so shattering. Johannesburg. The lives of hundreds of thousands of people are at risk after a cyclone ripped into central Mozambique and heavy rains continue to fall. Aid groups report. Here is a look at the disaster that has killed untold hundreds of people in Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. Will the death toll rise? Almost certainly. Emergency response. A massive storm surge when Cyclone Idai made landfall in Mozambique over the weekend created what one World Food Programme staffer calls inland. The European Union's Global Observation Programme, mapping the crisis, said some 394 square kilometers 152 square miles of Mozambique had been flooded. Further deaths could occur if people clinging to hope are swept away by the rising waters or are not reached in time with critical water, food, and other aid. And now authorities are warning of waterborne diseases after what infrastructure existed in the largely impoverished countries was stripped away. Mozambique's president, after flying over the region, has warned as many as 1,000 people could die. What is being done to help? Mozambique and Malawi are two of the poorest countries in Africa, and the economy of once prosperous Zimbabwe has collapsed in recent years. Aid appeals for millions of dollars have begun as the United Nations and other humanitarian organizations rush to deliver food, water, fuel, and medicines to the vast affected area. In Beira, the European Union and Britain have been among the first to pledge aid. The EU says it. The US Embassy in Zimbabwe says it is mobilizing. Zimbabwe's president has said a number of countries, including the United Arab Emirates, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, and Angola, also were offering aid. What happens next? Aid organizations and authorities are rushing humanitarian aid to Beira and other areas by air and sea, while rescue efforts push on. The torrential rains. As the water begins to recede throughout the region, the extent of the devastation will become clearer. And thousands, perhaps scores of thousands, of families could be on the move, seeking new refuge after their homes were washed away. Burials, which already have begun, will continue. Follow Africa News at https://twitter.com/apafrica. Search for location/city.
Raindrops, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that.